Yes. Good evening. Let me hope everybody is okay. Yeah, we are live. I would like to discuss about how to approach goat farming. Somebody asked me to do a live chat for this, and I would like to maybe talk to you here, try to teach you some few things for farming, about farming. Um, Goat farming, if you think about goat farming, I do request that you think about land, because all in all, what we are looking for is money, but of which we have basics that we have to follow when we start goat farming. Not only goat farming, actually, I also love cattle, but some people never never thought that I could also approach cattle. I've been doing a lot of breeding, and I was looking for better. You know, my character is looking for the better and superior animals. That is in my intentions. I want to see African countries, or I want to see Uganda as in general, because me, I'm a Ugandan. I want to see it on another level, because every person you see, every person that thinks about Uganda says that we are blessed. But my worry is we are blessed the way how people are saying. But why are we not doing to be the best? That is one of my questions. So that is some of my questions I have. Uh, why? Why are we not the best? Um, Somebody is telling me here that he wants to do sheep in Ghana. I want to start sheep because so sheep also have the same actually. This is the difference between the sheep and the goats. Sheep most of the time are very aggressive actually, and they live in a better, uh, actually in all the dangerous environments as compared to the goats. But the only issue here in our country, Uganda, you might look for a mutton or the butcher that is really handling mutton, but you cannot get it. So that becomes complicated. Me, in my mind, I think about a project that can stand on its own. You get it? Than me doing sheep, and then when I'm selling it, I sell it as if it's goat's meat. And I don't go so much into it. I always want to handle an animal. Sorry, every project on its own. Like right now, the reason why you don't see me posting much about the cattle is because the cost of investment of cattle is very high as compared to the goats. So goats could be a simplest project that any person would go for. You get, but when you look at the cattle, the money cattle people can use, it's not the same money I can use in goats. You get it? So that's why I prefer starting with a simple with a project. You know, when you're doing projects, you look at the priorities. You get? When you look at the priority, you look at also on the in the cost. All projects can do well: sheep, cattle, then goats, then poultry, piggery. But what is more easy? What takes less time and gives you much output? You get, like the money a guy doing cattle might not use the same money I'm using in goats. So that makes me go for a goat. They make money. So after accumulating a lot of money, I can get that money and invest it in another project. So basically, that is one of the reasons. Let me try to read the messages. Started good, but it's difficult. Someone taking care of them. you know, I don't see any difficulty in taking care of the goats. This is what you have to know about goats. As long as you keep the hygiene, as long as you vaccinate and deworm, then spray. I don't see any other reason. Actually, the reason why we do natural synchronization is we we do natural synchronization so that we can produce goats in a given time. We pay more attention for only 1 month when goats are kept in a kid's pen. You get? That's the only difficult kind of thing. Online lecture, Miss, I have listening to his lecture in good fun. Yeah, focusing on land now. I want to start a ship and I want to handle myself. I'd like you contact you personally. Yeah, my number is always running on there, and I can repeat it. It is 0 plus 256 773 34 32 83. That's my number. Actually, the numbers you see there, they are my numbers, but I take long to respond because of the responsibility, as you see. I want to start with sheep and then personal. Fine. Land is difficult to get here in Ghana. Do you know the reason why I always teach people on how you can do zero grazing? Zero grazing, even if you have 2 acres, you know, if you have 2 acres, they can cater for at least 160 goats. But it depends on what you're planting. If you plant maize and an acre, you're using very good maize, hybrid maize, and your land is fertile and so on, you can definitely get maybe up to 15 tons. And you know, if you use tractors, you can even get up to 30 tons out of 1 acre. Remember, goats can only eat 2 kilos of silage, of maize silage. Then when you add on some grass, you know, let's say you have some chloris, an acre for chloris, an acre for maize, you make the silage, and then you also have hay. Can eat 2 kilos of or even 1 kilo of silage, and then they can eat 1 kilo of hay, which makes it 2. And then it takes milk, it can take water also, maybe 2 liters. That animal is ready to convert. If it's a hybrid, it can convert up to 500 or 600 grams. So land, you may not even think about doing a very big land. This hard to this. Do you know, by the way, for your information, goats are resistant. Actually, they are very resistant to diseases, very resistant. As long as the hygiene is good, there is nothing can stop you from doing that. I wouldn't like you to go read a lot of books. Get the information from the practical person. That is always my advice. Get the information from the person who does it. You know, we can always think about, write a lot of books, write a lot of things, but get the practical. How do that person do it? That's the only way that we need to think about that. I think trying to read up these comments here. Yeah, security stealing. Somebody is telling me that stealing, you know, thieves are all over, so there is no any solution. But basically, from my experience, stealing of goats is always made by your workers. I always say that facilitate your workers, be friends with your workers, give them a target, give them a projection that we have started here. If we make this better, we are going to be here. Let those people know that they are part of the project. Let those people love the project themselves. Because if they don't love the project, they are only looking for the salary. How much money am I getting? When am I getting my money? But if you know, we waste a lot of money in different things. You can give a person a farm which has over 500 million, but you're paying that person 100,000. If you're paying that person 100,000 and whenever you go there, you're quarreling with him. You're not showing him that he's part of the project. Whenever you go there, you can't even carry a bread to that person. You can't even give him an allowance, not on his salary, but just giving him as a friend. Learn how to befriend your workers if you don't want people to steal your things. Learn how to befriend them. Learn how to promise them things. Try to create innovative things or innovate for some things that can really develop them. Make sure your worker develops. That's the only way that you can fight theft. Me on my farm, I have no theft, by the way. Ever since I started, I have never seen my animal being stolen, and I don't complain about that. So the only way how I handle my people is being lovely to them, because you can find somebody on the road and he's crying because of his problems. You can give him like 100,000 or 200,000. How about a person who is really catering for your money, the manager of your money, the manager of your billion, and you're giving him 100,000, not even allowance? Whenever you go there, just complaining. So me, I think that should be the issue. Thank you. How do you get some of the books about organic medicines and treatment? Yeah, for the organic, I've not made research about the organic medicines, but for the books, me myself, I'm weak in reading books, but I like listening to stories and documentaries on how those people are doing. I thought about writing a book, of which I will write a book about goat farming, but actually somebody can understand more if you explain to him, if you give him your experience. That is my target, and I think that will definitely help. Try to look for my when you go on YouTube, put in goat farming Semanda, they will bring you all my videos, and you'll be able to watch them. So I think what tips do you have for selecting good overall breeds for sheep farming? Okay, this is what you're supposed to look at when you're selecting an animal. Since we are looking at meat production, look at the size. You cannot tell me that you're looking for meat and you're selecting an animal which is inferior in the size. The size is very small and you want it to breed. You get? So that is one of the things that you have to look at. Also look at the twinity production. Is that line you're looking at, does it produce twins? So that should be also another issue. Two, there is some animals which have which are inbred and the kids always die. So you also have to look at that. Look at the mother of that animal you're taking. If you don't have a chance, try to tell the person selling to you the history. At least he can tell you, he can narrate to you, and then you understand it. But you also have to consider all that. You have to consider the twinity. You have to consider the resistance or tolerance to the diseases. You have to consider calving ease or kidding ease. Is an animal always get dystocia when it's producing, or does it kid up very well? Those kind of stuff. Those are kind of the things that you really need to look at as a farmer. Great inspiration you are. I think those are the tips that I have. Dystocia, that is the failure of an animal to produce. You get it? Some animals really get a lot of issues that they cannot produce very easy. We always operate it during the production. So that's it. Yeah, for artificial insemination, actually, we are going to start doing artificial insemination. I really want to start it because that's the way to go. Importation of the animals might not be so easy, needs a lot of documentary. But if you decide to start importing in the semen, one animal, you can use the semen of one animal and serve over 100 or plus animals. So it's the way to go, and I think I will start artificial insemination as soon as possible because that's the way to go. That's the way to go. I've been doing artificial insemination in cows. Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I'm not doing milk goats is milk goats really need much attention, and on top of that, milk goats here in Uganda, if you look at where we are doing farming from, we are doing it from a distance. We are doing it, let's say, 130 kilometers away. Like if I have 100 goats and they can give me, let's say, 50 liters, you know, traveling to go and pick that milk, it will need me like over 200,000, and the cost of a liter here is 10,000. You get, because when you look at the economical sense of that dairy goats, you know, it doesn't make more sense for us, because you need to be close to the town whereby you produce and you do value addition. And actually, for the people who are starting up, to start up with dairy production for the goats, it will need processing, it will need what to make more money for it. So you will see that it's giving you a lot of work, it's giving you a lot of time. And like for us youth, the youth, we are looking at something that will not take most of your work, because you're a young man, you have to have a job, and that job you're having, you have to pay it more attention. So if you're paying more attention on your work, that means you're going to leave the job. And then if you're leaving the job, you don't have the money that is going to support the project till when the project starts to support itself. That's why I always want meat goats. When you put them there is grass, you spray, you vaccinate, you're friendly to the workers, the project will just be developing. That's why I'm not trying to do it. I request that you start teaching people how to feed their goats. Ah, yeah, actually, feeding. These are the three things that you need to know about feeding. You have to know which kind of feed you're giving your animals. What are the active nutrients in that feed? What do we look at when we are doing feeding? You look at the carbohydrates, you look at the proteins. The moment you have the two, proteins and carbohydrates, you're good to go. These mineral salts you just supplement just to compensate for the nutrients that are not got from the grasses. So people, I think, let me stop from there. Let me wish you the best. I think this has been my moment to chat with you live, and thank you very much for that.